You ever tried to grow lavender in Southeast Texas? It's a pretty difficult challenge unless you choose a great variety which can withstand the hot, humid elements of Southeast Texas. One of the best choices we think for growing lavender here is the Goodwin Creek Lavender. One thing that lavender doesn't like is it doesn't like to stay wet on the foliage or in the root system. These leaves are very, very soft, and just like a lot of soft-bodied flowers, they just don't like to stay wet. And when we're really humid, moisture is going to stay on these leaves, and they're not going to thrive unless it's a humid-resistant variety, kind of like this one. So why doesn't it like humidity and moisture? Because that really increases the possibility for root rot and for fungal issues, and that really will bring lavender down. So Goodwin Creek, it's known for its silvery, kind of tinted leaves, and it makes a really, really bright bluish-purple bloom. It'll grow a stunning looking plant from the foliage perspective throughout the warmer months, and eventually it's going to flower, making it a very long season plant. And it can be somewhat cool tolerant if you baby it a little bit. So how do we make this thing thrive? Well, first and foremost, because we know that it doesn't like to have wet roots and likes more of a dry environment, we want to make sure we plant it high. We don't want this to be low. Like actually in this spot in this bed, it is kind of a low point and the water would drain here. It's not going to like that. So we're going to take some soil, bring it in here and build it up. Lavender also does not need like fancy, super rich soil. It kind of likes a lean, basic soil. Honestly, does not like really acidic soil, so it's going to thrive more in that like neutral pH. So we're going to make sure we have some soil there to build this up. Got a nice root system on here. We're going to mound this up, making sure that we have good drainage. You can actually put gravel around the base of it if you would like to help filter through the water so it doesn't hold. We're actually going to try using pine straw because I believe that it will do very similar, allowing the water to drain through very quickly, not hold against the base. It's really important that we don't water overhead because, again, lavender does not like moisture on the foliage. So we're going to water at the base. Timing, we want to get it in an early spring because we want to have plenty of time for the roots to establish in the cooler temperatures so that when summer hits, this thing isn't in shock and struggling to get through. If it's established, it's going to do a lot better in the heat than it would if we wait later in the season. Once this guy grows and blooms, and those blooms kind of flush out and they're done, make sure you deadhead it. It'll help it put on more blooms. And you can also lightly prune this thing in the spring to shapen it up. You just want to make sure once it gets aged and has some woody tissue or woody stems, don't cut too hard into those. So if you're here in Southeast Texas along the Gulf Coast and you've ever struggled or tried to grow lavender with no success, give Goodwin Creek a try and stay tuned, and we'll see how this one does here in our garden here at home. See you next time.